interested in developing the property. We bought the property in 2006. Think that would be a good investment someday. 2007, 2008, downturn. 2010, what's it going to do with the property? It's going to do something. Infrastructure was an issue. Approached the city, started working through, and kind of the way I typically try and operate is go to the local municipality first, find out what their growth needs are, what it takes to bring a property to the market. Typically, that involves the county, involves the state, with respect to permitting processes. In this instance, we had to create a special financing district. I got several around because we were so far kind of on the edge of town, where literally the first property north of Ben Austin. No infrastructure. You need sewer, water, roads, as a lot of you guys in real estate and financing industries, you understand that. So worked with the city, created an agreement or terms of an agreement with the city first, kind of coordinated through that, figured out what they needed. The cost is extreme, so we found a way to finance that, worked with the city, came with what we thought was fair, went with the city officials to the county, got their consent to create it's a MUD, municipal utility district, went through the legislature in 2019, got that created. In that, it's kind of considered a master plan community, but it won't develop as you can see some of these internal master plan communities that are promoting today. The market in Howe is not the market in central Dallas or Frisco, where so you can start the single family, the multi-family, the retail all at once on a property's been lying vacant. So with that, it's kind of a stage thing. Typically, as a lot of you guys in the retail industry will understand, you have the rooftops. So the housing will come first, probably supported very quickly with some sort of small retail component, open on the corner to bring that into play. I've got some numbers that I pulled this morning. Just as growth occurs and growth starts to occur, I kind of thought it was funny that McKinney, and anybody that's familiar with McKinney's geographical formation, the northwest quadrant of 75 and 380 is kind of lacking in infrastructure. McKinney took off in the late 80s, early 90s, a bunch of big master plan communities, Stonebridge Ranch, I'll get my tongue until in just a second, I apologize. They ran out of infrastructure. The northwest quadrant of McKinney today still doesn't have water and sewer. So in 2017, I pulled these numbers this morning, 2017, McKinney built 2,500 and 24 units. That's about 6.2 home sales per day for the entire year of 17. In 18, they built 2,200. In 19, they built 1,400. In 20, they only built 1,500. They ran out of infrastructure. They're trying to figure out how to solve the problem because they didn't have the foresight to provide for that northwest quadrant. They've done a bunch of studies and various other things. Didn't have the relationships and the involvement in the agreements in place, like Howe is starting to do today, like I'm sure Dorchester's trying to figure out how to replicate or not replicate, the good and the bad, right? And coming up from McKinney in 2020, the housing numbers, you kind of see this escalation coming. Melissa built 857 homes last year. That's sales of about 2.3 units per day. Anna, 976 units, it's about 2.6 units per day. Salina, slightly different but comparable for purchasers, 1,862. That's 5 home sales a day for the entire year on average. That tidal wave is headed this way. As it gets cheaper to finance and as the infrastructure runs out, as McKinney's recently experienced, places like Princeton, the outskirts of Sherman, starting to grow. I'm sure you're starting to see that you can't hang on homes. We had a little bit of that discussion. Homes in the Frisco, Plano market that have been 20, 30 years on the market, the resale is sometimes hours, not days, just due to the influx of people trying to get in the area for the economic benefits. What we've done with this, we've got about 1,200 homes shown for single family. We're ready to start just about any day we can get going. Had 3 builders lined up. We're going to bring in all at once. Had a little downturn. Brought one large builder in that was ready to go. Then COVID hit. So we're trying to restructure some of the financing and various other things. First question I always get is, when are you going to build? When are you going to build? When are you going to build? The process was we went through 2019 legislature to create the financial district. Then we had to get a wastewater treatment plant permit in conjunction with the city. That takes about 12 months. Then you've got to coordinate, and you've still got some further coordination with the county efforts to build Blythe Road, access to state highways, and various other things. So typically, from the time we start first spoon of dirt doesn't really turn for about 24 to 30 months. Once we start the first spoon of dirt, it takes about 18 months to put the first house on the ground. Once we get the first houses started, we anticipate probably 3 houses a month for the first year, and then it would probably be 10 to 12 houses a month as some of these other like-kind cities are experiencing. So, trying to be short, I want to get into kind of a question and answer. Stuff that, and I'll take it. But, just the big question for us is, when are you going to start? We're trying to get past the COVID thing. I thought it was interesting that some of the largest builders in the nation are interested in the property. Every one of them dropped all their contracts for construction about a year ago in March. Horton was involved with one of our projects. They dropped all real estate contracts in about 12 days. With that, some of the other private industry builders picked up a lot of those contracts. After even dropping all of their contracts, Horton continued to a record year of home sales because everybody's trying to flee into my controlled space and not have to do the environmental protection of your own space. It's pretty funny how the market really took off in spite of COVID in the real estate industry as far as single family now. The multifamily stuff is still being financed, it's being built, but last year some of the occupancy rates were 5%, 10% occupancies. A lot of the same facilities this year in some of those other McKinney markets, Frisco markets, they're 18 to 30% empty. So that's a huge indicator of where the buyers came from, is out of these higher density type facilities. They're still being financed, there's still a huge volume of people moving into the area every day. So I think it's a sector of the market, what we do for development purposes, I see as a service industry. You know, we provide, I don't build homes, I do infrastructure underneath, hand it to the home builders, got those markets. There's a project we did over in Corinth. It was 193 lots. We put it on the ground in about 9 months. They sold all 193 lots plus a model, sold in 11 days. 11 days. We're like, okay, we need 5 more of those. But to get, it's 24 months to put that on the ground. But that's just how strong the industry is if you're in the right spot. We think Howe's in the right spot. We're trying to get this going. I'll take any questions. Everybody sit still. I need a little more activity. Yes, ma'am.
There's a similar development going in at Mantua. Do you think that that will affect the sales of your homes, or do you think that it'll?
I think the market's deep enough that you could probably have 10 developments and they would all be somewhat successful. Obviously, the first ones out of the ground are going to sell instantly, but with the market, the depth of the market today, there's no inventory. Typically, in each city, the inventory should run about a 24-month volume of inventory. So these numbers I quoted, say you're selling 500 homes a year, you need 2,000 units divided by 24 months of capacity. Most people are at 10% capacity, 5% capacity, no capacity. Sherman puts stuff on the ground, and again, it's sold as I described earlier, just instantly. So there's no capacity on the ground for new buyers, which is assisting some of the existing homes at resales, and people are getting 10, 12, 20% above asking price just to availability. Somebody's transferred in, kids got to get into school, they've got to get to work at the new job, whatever it happens to be. We're downsizing, we're upsizing, we need to be in this location. It's the only thing available, we'll take it. And you're seeing that not just in Sherman, you're seeing that all the way to Red Oak, south of Dallas. I've got a project going in Weatherford, same story. I've got a project in Terra, same story. It is, this region has brought so much attention nationwide for our stability. I'm hoping we don't get a little bit of influx of instability, but so far, we're managing it as an industry, not just me, as an industry. It's being managed relatively well. A lot of cities are starting to pay attention to infrastructure needs and growth. The state of Texas has done a very good job with respect to putting money towards roads in the area. Everybody's experienced 75. It'll take 4 years. Yes, ma'am.
And Howe has no subdivision like this. Mantua has already got a wait list. They've got 4 builders, 3 different release prices. If you put it in right now, I promise you, it would sell. Like, there's a wait list in Mantua already. And there's 5 developments besides Mantua going in and I'll see. If he dropped it right now for the sell side of it, I promise you, they would be waiting for people line realtors and people there. So Howe people want to move, people want to move outside the city. And with COVID, what we realized is people need to live in Dallas anymore. They can live here because they work from home. That's why we're growing so much. So, I mean, your development, how can handle the development? I mean, if the sign was there and the streets were there, I promise you it would be,
Yes, ma'am?
people are wanting it, so.
Absolutely. It's difficult that the people on the ground realize that. When you're dealing, as I was dealing with Horton and Lennar and a bunch of other public builders, they've got accountants in their process of reporting to Wall Street. And if every box is not quite checked, it was kind of gray, they can't check it, they can't justify it. That's why they dropped all their contracts. I think Lennar, when they dropped a lot of stuff last year, they lost 32% of the market capture that they had. Horton lost 61% and then had to repurchase at new price points at a higher price. They lost, now they're back into 40% of what they once had. So it was pretty shocking when you look at one little blip, COVID's not a little blip, but one little hiccup in the industry has this residual effect. You know, adage of the rock in the pond touches everything. COVID really disrupted a lot of companies industry-wide, not just retail and everything. Construction is going to be the first one that comes back. I hope this will continue and come up now. I'm good with whatever questions you got.
Yes, sir. The real linchpin I was wondering about there when you do the timeline is the sewer plant. You can't do anything. How can you? You know, there's a lack of sewer capacity for lots, and that's the key to when does that happen. We've got right now in this area there's probably 400 to 500 acre plus lots being developed now.